Byung-gi. Byung-gi was a doctor who thought he could cheat the system. While everyone else was playing by the rules, this guy made a deal with corrupt guards to harvest organs from dead players. In exchange, he got insider information about the upcoming games. The frontman found out about this little operation and decided to make an example out of him. Guards dragged Byung-gi out and executed him on the spot. Then they strung up his body for everyone to see. The message was clear: cheat and you die. Nobody shed a tear for this guy. His death was brutal, sure, but it was also karma catching up fast. But not all deaths in Squid Game were about justice catching up with the guilty. Oh, Il-nam. Il-nam dies peacefully until you remember one important thing. This wasn't some innocent grandpa caught up in a death game. This was the creator, the puppet master, who watched hundreds die for entertainment. He orchestrated every single death we witnessed, then had the audacity to play along like he was just another victim. His final conversation with Gi-hun is philosophical nonsense about human nature. The worst part? He dies peacefully. No justice, no karma, just a comfortable hospital bed and medical care that his victims never got. The next death was so much more painful. Thanos. Thanos came into Season 2 high on drugs and ready to fight anyone who looked at him wrong. This former rapper lost everything in a crypto scam from Myung-gi, another player, and decided to take it out on everyone around him. A real charming guy. His death came courtesy of Myung-gi in a bathroom brawl that got way out of hand. Thanos was choking the life out of Myung-gi when Myung-gi grabbed a fork and jammed it right into Thanos' neck. Thanos' face dropped and his body went lifeless, but honestly, while painful, this was deserved. Thanos was a psycho and pushed 3 innocent players to their deaths. During red light, green light just because he could. He wasn't even doing it for money at that point. He just enjoyed watching people die. He beat up anyone who challenged him, terrorized his own teammates, and turned the games into his personal playground of violence. While Thanos chose violence at every turn, the next player chose love and paid the ultimate price. Player 069. Player 069 and his wife both ended up in the games, probably thinking they'd face it together. Then came the marble game, where players had to partner up, but things would take a very dark turn. The rules were that you had to play against your partner and there could only be one winner. During the game, player 069 won against his wife, which forced her to be eliminated, and he couldn't handle it. The second the game ended, he took his own life. He didn't even try to continue. During the night, he hung himself so he didn't have to go on anymore. This death was one of the most painful for the emotional reasons as well as the physical ones, but the next painful death didn't even happen inside the games. The recruiter. The recruiter is responsible for people joining the games, and we're first introduced to him when he recruits Gi-hun. But in Season 2, after he gets tracked down, he finally gets what was coming to him. Gi-hun tracked him down and he was challenged to Russian roulette, not Dokji this time. After a very dramatic game, we realize that the recruiter is cooked. The recruiter aims the gun at his dead before pulling the trigger. The gun goes off and suddenly Mr. Perfect's suit isn't looking so perfect anymore. He spent years finding people at their lowest points, offering them false hope and knowing exactly where he was sending them. Every single death in the game started with him in that briefcase. But it felt like justice, even if it came too late for the hundreds he'd already sent to die. But despite having to shoot himself, this death was nowhere near as bad as the next one. Sammy. Sammy was new to Season 2, and honestly, she didn't get much time to make an impression before everything went to hell. When the players figured out that each death meant more prize money, the dormitory turned into a battlefield. She got caught in the nighttime riot at the wrong place and wrong time. Another player, Namgyu, didn't like her and decided to end her at the first opportunity he got. Namgyu stabbed her over and over during the nighttime riot. Min-soo, a player who got close to Sammy, was able to help, but was too scared. Sammy died pointlessly and brutally, but this death was nowhere near as bad as the ones later in the video. Before them, we need to look at Youngmi's. Youngmi's death was all about timing. 1 second too slow, and you're dead. That's the game she lost. During a timed escape challenge, she couldn't make it out of a locked room fast enough. The door slammed shut and the guards did what guards do, they shot her. No negotiation, no second chances, no please, I was so close. The rules were clear, make it out in time or die. She didn't make it out in time. Bang! Another player down, another family destroyed, another reminder that the games don't care about almost making it. What makes Youngmi's death particularly cruel is how impersonal it was. She wasn't betrayed by an ally or outsmarted by an opponent. She just couldn't run fast enough. Maybe she tripped. Maybe she helped someone else and lost precious seconds. Maybe she was just unlucky. Doesn't matter. The clock doesn't care about your reasons. The other players probably heard the gunshot and knew exactly what it meant. Someone didn't make it. Someone's not coming back. Better them than me, right? That's what everyone tells themselves until it's their turn to run and the seconds are ticking down and suddenly their legs feel like lead. But the most dramatic death involved good old-fashioned revenge. Minyo and Deoksu. This double death was brewing from the moment Deoksu betrayed Minyo. She thought they were a team, thought that sleeping with him meant something. He thought she was disposable. They were both wrong. During the glass bridge game, Minyo saw her chance. Deoksu was trying to push past her, probably ready to throw her off if necessary, but she grabbed him tight and wouldn't let go. The look on his face when he realized what was happening was priceless. She wasn't just accepting death, she was making sure he came with her. They fell together through the glass, Minyo laughing the whole way down. It was murder-suicide fueled by pure spite. She could have died alone, could have let him continue to the next round, but why should he get to live after using her and tossing her aside? The other players watched in shock as two people plummeted to their deaths, locked in a deadly embrace. Minyo got the last word after all. Deoksu thought he was so tough, thought he could use people and throw them away. Turns out hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, especially when she's got nothing left to lose and you're standing on a glass bridge. Speaking of betrayal, one kind soul was about to pay the ultimate price for showing compassion. Hyunju. Hyunju made the fatal mistake of being human in a place where humanity gets you killed. When Junhee went into labor, Hyunju stepped up to help deliver the baby. She probably thought she was doing the right thing, being decent in an indecent place. Myunggi killed her right after. No warning, no reason except that she was vulnerable and he needed to survive. She'd just helped bring life into this death trap. And her reward was murder. The same hands that had gently helped deliver a baby were soon cold and still. This death hits hard because Yeonju represented what people could be, even in the worst circumstances. She saw someone in pain and helped. She didn't calculate the risk or worry about making herself a target. She just did what needed to be done because it was right. Her blood on the floor next to where a baby had just been born, that's an image that sticks with you. Life and death literally side by side. The contrast makes her death even more senseless. In a place designed to bring out the worst in people, she showed the best of humanity, and it got her killed. Junhee's fate wasn't much better than the woman who helped her. Junhee survived childbirth in the middle of a death game. She delivered a baby while surrounded by people trying to kill each other for money, but the birth left her very weak. Not only that, but she had a fractured ankle. She looked at her situation and made the only choice that made sense to her. She couldn't win the games in her condition. She couldn't even move without excruciating pain. So she ended it herself, on her own terms. The tragedy is that she fought so hard to bring her baby into the world, only to realize she'd never see that child grow up. Every mother wants to be there for their kid, wants to protect them and guide them. Junhee knew she couldn't do any of that. During the rope jump game, Junhee made the decision to eliminate herself after Gi-hoon promised to look after the baby. This wasn't the only time a mother was faced with an impossible choice. Guumja came to the games carrying guilt that was eating her alive. Her son was gone and she blamed herself. Every game, every death she witnessed just added to the weight crushing her spirit. When she finally broke, she begged for the games to end. They didn't end, so she ended herself. But first, she pleaded with anyone who would listen. Stop the games, let us go home, this is wrong. Her final moments were spent trying to save others, even as she prepared to leave them behind. That's the kind of person she was, thinking of others even in her darkest moment. The players who heard her begging probably wanted to help, but knew they couldn't. What could they do? Vote to leave and go back to the misery that brought them here? Tell her it would be okay when they all knew it wouldn't. Sometimes silence is the only kindness you can offer. Trust continued to be a deadly weakness in this place. Jungbae made it all the way to the Season 2 finale. He survived every game, every betrayal, every night wondering if he'd see morning. Then the front man shot him dead. No game, no chance to fight back. Just execution. Throughout Season 2, Youngbae was a major player. He formed alliances, made tough choices, probably did things he wasn't proud of to survive. All that struggle, all that character development ended with a bullet from the man running the show. The frontman killing him personally sends a message. You never really had a chance. You can play perfectly, make all the right moves, survive against impossible odds, and still die because someone with power decides you should. Youngbae thought he was playing to win. Turns out he was just entertainment. But no death was more selfless than what came next. Ji-young. Ji-young and Saebyuk sat in that marble game arena and did something nobody else did. They talked, really talked, about their lives, their pain, their dreams. Ji-young shared her story about killing her abusive father, about having nothing to go back to. Then she made a choice. She threw the game, on purpose. She looked at Saebyuk, who had a brother to save and a mother to find, and decided her friend's life mattered more than her own. No tricks, no last-minute betrayals. Just, you have more to live for than me, so live. When the guards came, Ji-young was smiling. She'd found something worth dying for, giving someone else a chance at the life she'd never have. In a place designed to make people selfish, she chose the ultimate selfless act. She turned the marble game from a tragedy into a gift. Saebyuk's tears as Ji-young walked away to die. That broke everyone watching, because we all knew Ji-young was right. She had nobody waiting for her. no future beyond the games. But she made sure her death meant something. She made sure someone would remember her not as a victim, but as a friend who chose love over life. Trust would destroy another kind soul in the very next game. Ali Abdul. Ali was everything the games weren't: kind, trusting, helpful. He saved Gi-hoon's life in the first game without being asked. He called everyone sir and tried to play fair. Unfortunately, in Squid Game, those qualities marked him for death. Sang-woo saw an easy target. When they were paired for marbles, he convinced Ali they could both survive if they worked together. Ali believed him because that's who Ali was. Someone who believed in people. Sang-woo took advantage of that trust, swapped the marble bags, and sent Ali to his death with a bag of rocks. The look on Ali's face when he realized the betrayal, it wasn't anger, it was heartbreak. This man he'd called a friend, who he'd trusted with his life, had played him for a fool. But the most painful death was saved for last. Sae-byeok. Sae-byeok survived everything. The North Korean defector who crossed the DMZ, who endured human traffickers, who fought through every game. She was tough, smart, and careful. She trusted nobody, except at the very end when she was too weak to protect herself. But her death was still the most painful for many reasons. While Gi-hun was trying to get her help, she fell asleep. This gave Sang-woo the perfect opportunity to kill her, and he took it. This might just seem like another player, but it's not. Throughout her final hours, she had to endure constant, excruciating pain from a glass shard that hit her in the stomach. Not only that, but she was relying on getting money from the games to look after her younger brother, and hopefully even find her mother from North Korea. If you thought the most painful deaths in Squid Game were bad, you won't believe the most painful deaths in Final Destination: Bloodlines.